Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes aims to capture the hearts of JRPG fans all over the world, and unapologetically so. So can this game win over the hearts of diehard fans and newbies alike? Well, let's find out. If you're looking for a video that sums up a newcomer's thoughts on this game, somebody who didn't back the Kickstarter, somebody who's never played Suikoden 1 or 2, this might be the video for you. So as always, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Don't forget to comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on the game and the video. Are you picking this up? Have you picked it up already? I would be interested to know where you stand on this game so far. Let's go. When 505 Studios reached out to me with a review code of the game, I jumped at the chance because I felt like I was going to miss out if I didn't pick up the game straight away. After seeing so many people post about it, I started to get excited, and thanks to them, I got in ahead of launch. Now, just a heads up here, the footage that you're seeing has been captured on my Steam Deck OLED using the Decky Recorder plugin. It records at the native resolution of the Steam Deck, so I've scaled and cropped it for the sake of the video. It will definitely look much better and sharper playing it yourself, but it looked awesome for me. And in order to avoid any spoilers, I'm not talking about any major story stuff, just mostly gameplay and my thoughts on it, roughly about 20 hours or so. Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes is a love letter to classic JRPGs from that golden era of PlayStation 1 JRPGs, and it shows. Honestly, it feels like this game was placed in a time machine in like 98 or 99 and sent forward in the future now to 2024. Of course, with some graphical adjustments to suit modern standards, but it's a timepiece of a game in a good way. So yes, story, it starts relatively slow at first, but begins to pick up a few hours in. The initial story hook is there to get you interested in the game, but in the beginning anyway, the focus is more so on how the game is played rather than your why. But there's just enough meat on the bone story-wise to get you interested. If I don't get enough story straight away, I lose interest, and thankfully that was not the case here. I really cannot wait to see where the story goes. First impressions though, overall, man, this game is gorgeous. Playing handheld mode on my OLED Steam Deck was just a blast. Really reminded me of the HD 2D stuff that Square has been putting out recently. Super beautiful. Star Ocean, the second story R, is what I would actually compare this to in terms of visuals. Lots of blur in the foreground and the background to shift focus on the characters depending on where they are in the environment or even in battle too, which we'll get to soon. Sprite work on characters is so good and very detailed considering there is lots of heroes in this game, and it's beautiful in all the right ways. It's a fully voiced game as well, so each character has their own unique look and personality to go with it. So yeah, with these heroes, essentially if you see someone cool, talk to them. It's pretty obvious. And honestly, I thought I would have been overwhelmed with recruiting them or trying to get as many as I can, but that's been one of the most fun parts of this game. Some will join you as easy as talking to them, and some you'll need to complete objectives or little fetch quests for, but nothing felt truly tedious in doing so. I can't wait to find a lot more too. Now, I mentioned battles. These are turn-based for the most part, with some conditional turn-based stuff happening from time to time. You select your actions, and then the party and enemies fight. So you have to account for healing depending on when your character is taking their specified action. There's a bar at the top right of the screen that will tell you who is doing what and when. Super handy. But yeah, be prepared because you cannot act mid-turn. Battles can happen with up to 6 characters in your party, which is way different than what I'm used to with any JRPG, but this is a lot of fun. It allows for different character strategies as well. Add a healer and some offensive characters with swords or anything similar than an archer or a mage in the back. It's great. Also available to do are hero combos, which are combo attacks with 2 of your heroes. And as mentioned before, the camera shifts. It's a real wow moment. I highly recommend doing these when possible. Some bigger battles have what are called gimmicks or in-battle actions that you need to do or can do depending on what's happening. And so it's either like an attack for massive damage or evading attacks. You'll get the hang of it. It's a great way of breaking up the bigger battles from the normal battles, which to be honest, for the most part, I relied on the auto battle function while exploring areas in an effort to get to the next story beat. Saves a lot of time instead of just pressing A to select over and over in battles, especially if you're just smashing the attack option on 2 or 3 enemies. The encounter rate isn't super high either, so it's not really overwhelming in terms of random battles. Now, while you traverse the worlds and environments, the music, man, it's so well done. In terms of what it could be similar to, I guess you could say it has that feel of like the Xenoblade soundtracks. Lots of strings and keys with percussion and woodwind instruments happening in the varied environments and in battle. I haven't heard a bad song yet, and just as much as the characters, the music has a lot of personality here. Easily something I'd be more than happy to listen to beyond the game. So let's get the soundtrack on vinyl. I would really like that. There will be a point in the game where you can start world building, especially like rebuilding a town and recruiting heroes and other characters alike to help you come do so. I would highly recommend that while you're fighting random battles and doing what you're doing, explore as much as possible and gather materials and items along the way, because you never know when you're going to need them. Same goes for talking to characters. Talk to everyone when you can. Aside from rebuilding and recruiting, there's a lot of in-game fun that you can do. So mini games and varied styles of play. There's no shortage of fun in this game. There's a few downsides to Eiyuden Chronicles which I felt are worth pointing out. Some of the environments are huge, which is great to look at, but at times I felt it was like a bit empty. Maybe having enemies on screen while walking through the world would have been better for filling it out. With bigger areas, it becomes painfully obvious how slow you run. There's no run button or turbo function. I mean, yes, there is a run animation, but I just felt like it took forever to get from one side of the map to the other. A fast travel option is really missing in this game as well. There's a few points in the game where you have to explore the world to find heroes to recruit. It just took like what felt forever going from one town to the other, walking from one side of an area to the other, just to be like, oh, nobody's there. Oh my gosh, I've got to walk all the way back. The fast travel option would really help the flow of things. And yes, I get that this is an old school style JRPG, and not a lot of old school JRPGs had this feature necessarily. It's just one of those modern conveniences that would go a long way once you've experienced them in other games. And I might not have it yet, or maybe there's not even an option, or maybe I just can't find it, but an in-game map would really be handy just to figure out where I am and where I'm going. Not 100% necessary. You know, I've obviously managed to play this far, but yeah, it would be cool. So aside from those negatives, which don't really ruin the experience for me, I would highly recommend this game to anyone even remotely curious about it. The story is getting really interesting. Again, no spoilers, of course. The gameplay is really fun, and finding characters has been the most fun overall. There's a lot more that I could say, but I just wanted to keep it light to showcase the game in broad strokes without getting too focused on the minor details. And the best part for me is that it's 100% playable on Steam Deck. I mean, this is how I've captured the footage, and it looks great. As someone who, again, did not play one single game in the Suikoden series, mostly because I'm still waiting on the HD remaster of 1 and 2 at this point, there might be a lot that I don't get, or maybe a lot that is lost on me, and that's okay. And likely this game might be scratching that itch for you if you love those games. It's definitely a love letter to this obviously very well-beloved series and JRPGs as a genre, and I am here for it, even with the negatives I've just pointed out. Eiyuden Chronicles is a must-buy for me. Please go check it out day one if you can. I think it's a really great adventure, and like I said, 20 hours in, I'm only just scratching the surface, and I cannot wait to dig in more and just see what else is out there and try and build out the world as much as I can and recruit as many heroes as I can. Been a lot of fun. So thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Comment down below. Are you excited for this game? And now after watching this, please go pick it up if you haven't already. I think it's a lot of fun, and hit the playlist for some more videos as well. We'll see you again soon. Ta-da.